The Equity Learning Lab team shared the resources, including like the organizational equity reflection tool, I think it's called, to everybody, not just those working with coaches. We ended up using that template with our team as an internal exercise when we were doing our internal sort of racial equity planning. And then after going through that and then seeing the call for the sort of second chance to work with a coach, then we actually signed up to work with a coach, and that experience has been great.
I think the opportunity to go, the second round of coaching opened up at a time when I felt like we could work with a coach. I do think like the first time it came out, there was maybe a sense of like, oh, whoa, like the requirement in terms of time involvement somehow I think was higher in terms of the way that it was expressed, and it felt like we weren't sure that we'd be able to do that. And I think the second time around, I don't know why it didn't, that barrier didn't seem to be an issue, and it seemed to be to be only an upside, right? Like having a coach to work with us on our equity work seemed like, why would we not want that? For sure, the most valuable part of participating in the equity learning lab was having Eric as a coach, was having somebody that we could turn to with kind of complicated questions. I feel like a lot of what he did was like help us realize like there is no one answer to a lot of our complicated questions.
For me, the most valuable part of participating in the Equity Learning Lab has been a cohort and community like of these organizations, the grantees, like we're together in this messiness, doing the best as we can and asking really good questions. Like I feel like in the breakout, rooms that I've been in, there's been some really good sort of collective reflection. So that's been really valuable. And then the relationship with our coach as well.
I would say some of the big shifts that we've made have been one on being much more explicit and open and about talking about racism, and acknowledging how much influence it has and the importance of focusing on it.
One of the areas where our organization has made a lot of progress on its equity journey is in involving individuals with lived experience. The first convening of the Equity Learning Lab, I was in a breakout room with someone from the Patient Advocate Foundation. And when we learned about what each other were doing, thought, oh, we should talk some more. And so we did. And that was the start of us developing a partnership. And so now, since January 2022, SIREN and Patient Advocate Foundation have a joint learning community, it's called, and it is a group of experts by experience. So people with experience of social needs, or difficulty affording care, who have been helped through Patient Advocate Foundation's direct services programs, and they have advised on 7 different SIREN research projects to date. We are actually broadening the access to the learning community from not just our immediate team of researchers and affiliated researchers, but to members of our broader network who would like to bring their research to people with lived experience.